Hey yo everyone, this is GXVL and wishing you a almost a happy new year, because I don't think I'm going to be making a video just saying like happy new year everyone, we're about to go to 2019. Yeah, I won't be making such a video like that, okay? But I am making this video that is a Dragon Ball R&R episode 3 review. And I have like a couple of thoughts to say that of why I think episode 3 from MasakoX's Dragon Ball R&R series actually turned out pretty good. It turned out way better than the last two episodes, because I thought they were at least decent at best, but this one is actually really good in my opinion. And I'm going to explain why I think it's good. Starting off with the fact that it was actually nice seeing a lot of emotion with the voices put into it. And speaking of the voices, is that when I heard Launch's voice, I'm not too sure if they replaced the voice actress for Launch, or maybe it's still the same person, because the way she was sounding, she sounded a little bit different than with the last two episodes, or just with episode 1 being the sweet Launch, and then as being the bad Launch. So I'm I'm not too sure if that's emotion being put into, which I think it's good, but if it's someone else, then I think that just throws me off, okay? And then also I see that most of the drawing panels being animated, tweaked, thrown here and there, actually looks better than before. There is just only two at least 2 or 3 areas that just needs to be touched up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it just needs to be touched up a little bit more, and then it would have been a little bit more than good, okay? More than good in my perspective. And just seeing how Ranch and Piccolo interacted was actually really good. It was actually pretty well executed. And that just seeing a flashback of how Raditz was letting Piccolo know that there's more Saiyans that are coming, and especially seeing a Raditz transformation, which I thought nailed it pretty good. No pun intended, considering Piccolo has Nail and Kami inside of him in his mind or something like that, right? But yeah, the transformation sequence of Raditz turning into a mighty Ozaru, or Great Ape, or whatever you want to call it, was actually executed really good. And by each piece of a transformation sequence, when you see the arms and the face, it was completely well drawn. I loved it. I thought it was the best part from this episode. And also, considering that in the flashback we get to see a little bit of fighting between two Uzarus, when Gohan as a kid looks up in the moon, just like from the original anime, that is the Dragon Ball Z series, yeah, he looks up in the moon and he turns into an Ozaru. But then just like in the anime, Piccolo does destroy the moon. That way both Raditz and Gohan can turn back to normal, instead of just cutting off their tails, because he cannot come up with a move or anything else of a way to cut off their tail. So there's that actually. And let me see, what else am I forgetting in here? Oh, and also there was some little funny antics a little bit in here, and by funny antics I mean mainly with Goku. Okay, so I'm actually kind of glad that MasakoX did stick around to voice as the lovable oaf that is Goku, which is my favorite character. That he actually made me laugh, considering he used the instant transmission just to go bring in Gohan and Videl. That way Ranch can see his favorite cousin. So I'm oh, that's actually kind of sweet. I mean, yeah, it may end up as at a cheesy note, but I thought it was actually pretty endearing. Actually, just seeing Ranch interacting with Gohan a little bit more actually felt that it has a lot of charm to it. It really did. So I'm glad that I get to see more charm being added to Dragon Ball R&R, because like with the last two, I mean, like there was some charm here and there. I just think that it wasn't executed that well in my perspective. But it seems like MasakoX and the others that taking part in Dragon Ball R&R really nail all the charm in this particular episode. And sure, I may be kind of sounding kind of biased, considering that that MasakoX is one of my favorite YouTubers, right? But I'm trying not to be biased as possible. But I actually honestly think that they actually did this episode really good. But again, there's just some minor problems, such as like I just think there was some again some areas that just looked like that got rushly drawn and didn't look like the final product. I still think they could have still worked on that. Just as like this particular scene where Gohan was grabbing his grabbing something that he used to wear a long time ago, passing it to Ranj. That part looks a little bit rushly drawn, but it still holds up kind of well. I just really think they could have done a little bit more to it, like still like drawn a little bit more. That way it could be, you know, consistent. If I'm critiquing it a little bit too much, but that's just the way I see it. And also considering how I forgot to say this, I actually really love the fact that I get to see like Goten with his new haircut. So I'm glad there is consistency in Dragon Ball R&R, considering that in the previous episode, Goten had a brand new haircut. He doesn't want to be his own father. He wants to be his own person and whatnot. So I'm glad the direction how MasakoX and others are going with this. So yeah, I actually liked every minute of it, and I just really think there were some areas that needs to be improved on, but overall I really think it was a good episode, like a 2 thumbs up. Last 2 episodes, they're somewhat decent. They're pretty decent. I just think they could have done better. This one was actually good. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'll put the link in the description below to watch R&R episode 3. Laters.